All right, now that you know a little bit about JavaScript and how it interacts with HTML, we're going to go look at our red, green, blue page again. So this one felt like it was mostly about CSS and it took quite a while, but really what we want to make here is kind of a color picker. So you put in some red, green, blue values, so maybe we can make this 100, and we actually get to see what color that is. And I can play with any of these values, so I could make this 50, and it will change as well. Now these numbers are changing at the bottom at the same time, so if I make this 125, this should go from 0 to 125, and there we go, and the color changes too. So you're welcome to try that on your own, or you can follow along. So this is kind of where we ended last time. Your code should look very identical to this. I did delete the meta tags out of here. Make sure you haven't deleted the script tag. If you have, add it right now. And I'm going to move this to the very end. So that JavaScript tag needs to be at the very, very end of that. There's some commenting that should be in there, but we talked about that in class. So let's go to our script and let's see the first thing that we want to happen. So we want these inputs to actually change. So we want to change their values. Now, we could try to do this all in one go and see if it actually works or not. But I think it's better to just do little step by little step. So we're going to actually get the inputs a little bit differently than I was doing there using prompts. So this is our input to get our red, green, and blue values. So one way we could do that, like I said, is just using prompts. So we could say R value. What is the R value? What's going on here? Oh, it's deleting them both at the same time. Why are you doing that to me? There we go. And that's it. So that we can run that prompt right now. It should run on our screen. Prompt. What is our user value? Why? Need a semicolon there. Okay, so the JavaScript isn't working. So that's kind of the other benefit of seeing what's going on. So let's just make sure that this tag is in the right spot. Script typed in properly. Okay, and this is why we do incremental programming. So you would think at this point that something must be wrong with your JavaScript. But actually, if we go back to the HTML, when I copied and pasted that, I forgot the end tag there. So make sure that's there. And now we should be good. Now it should run. There we go. So now that prompt is happening. Okay, so that's our first step. So now we've asked the user, hey, what's the red value? If we go back to our JavaScript, we don't want just the red value though. We want the green and blue. So I'm going to just copy and paste. But instead, what is the R value? What is the green value? And what is the blue value? Okay. So now it should ask us three things. Perfect. Now we need to store those somewhere. So we're going to make a variable. So I'm going to go let R value equal that prompt. Okay, so now we should just got to change these to red, green, blue. All right, now that we have those values, we should see if we're actually working or not. So I'm going to go console.log, and I'm just going to put in our variables. So the R value, I could write console.log 3 times, but I can put these all in one log. So G values and B value, and we'll see if it's actually taking in our inputs or not. So I'll just do 1, 2, 3. So there we go, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So far that's working, which is exactly what we want. Okay, we're good. So now we have these three. We've got some kind of prompt, but we actually want to take that. We don't want it from a prompt. We want it from our buttons here, our input buttons. So our red, green, and blue. So instead, I'm going to do this with a document get element by ID. So if I go back to my HTML, I said that this red input box, I named it red in. I named the green one green in, and I named the blue one blue in. So I'm going to use those IDs to tell me where I'm going to get this from, this information from. So first I have to actually tell the computer I'm looking for that. So document.get element by ID and the element's name. So I said it was red in. Okay, so what do I want about this though? So now I have to choose what property. So I want to know the number that's here, or the value. So I'm just going to put value there. And it's going to be the same for all of these. So just with a different name. So I'm going to copy and paste these. Now the green one we named green in, and the red one we named blue in. So now if I hit run, I'm getting 255, 255, and 0. Well, that makes sense. My red right now is saying 255, green is saying 255, and blue is 0. Now, if we really want to check if this is working or not, we can go to our HTML, and right here, I think it's right here. Where are we? Value. So in our paragraph with our inputs, if I just change this to 155 quickly, I hit run, yep, sure enough, it goes to 155, which is exactly what we want. Perfect. So I'll just change that back. So now we have all of our inputs. We just have to worry about actually inputting it. And I think I'm going to do that on a different video.